It is no measure of health to be well-adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Jiddu Krishnamurti. Pause for a moment. Reflect on this sentence. Krishnamurti is not speaking of something external, not wars, not governments, not systems. He is speaking of you, of me, of each one of us. He invites us to look within and realize that the greatest prison is not outside, but in the conditioning we carry. And here begins the great question: how can we overcome the inner limits that prevent us from living fully? Krishnamurti said that our mind is like a mirror covered with dust. That dust is fear, inherited beliefs, traumas, comparisons. As long as we don't clean the mirror, we continue to see reality in a distorted way. Think, how many times have you sabotaged yourself? How many times have you believed you were not capable, not worthy, not ready? Those voices are not your essence. They are only echoes of old conditioning. And if you face them directly, you are already beginning to overcome them. Krishnamurti insisted, the mind that seeks security can never know freedom. And here lies the secret. We seek limits without realizing it. We search for labels, rules, certainties. But true life happens when you dare to step out of these inner chains. See, the inner limit is like a guardian at the gate of your consciousness. It protects you from the unknown, but also imprisons you in the same place as always. To overcome this guardian is not violence, nor blind struggle. It is understanding. When you observe your thoughts without judging them, when you see your anger, your fear, or your insecurity, without running away, without blaming yourself, in that instant, they lose their power over you. And here comes a deep connection with Carl Jung's psychology. He said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." Jung reminds us that overcoming inner limits is not escaping the shadow, but integrating it. Everything you reject in yourself, sooner or later, returns to demand attention. When you allow yourself to see your own shadow, it ceases to be a monster in the dark and becomes strength for your journey. Krishnamurti also spoke of this in another way. When we observe without condemning, we begin to understand, and that understanding is liberation. But where does the strength come from to cross these limits? Here comes Nietzsche, who proclaimed, "Become who you are." It is not about conquering the world, but about surpassing yourself. For Nietzsche, life gains greatness only when we dare to go beyond what we already are. He called this becoming the Übermensch, the beyond man. And in a way, it is the same invitation of Krishnamurti, to break the inner sameness and allow a broader consciousness to flourish. So, how can you overcome your inner limits in practice? 3 keys can help you begin today. The first is self-observation without judgment. Sit in silence. Notice your thoughts. Do not fight them. Simply see them as clouds passing in the sky of your mind. This clarity already begins to dissolve the limits. The second key is accept your shadow. Recognize the parts of yourself that you reject. Fear, anger, weakness, all of this is part of your wholeness. When embraced, these forces turn into wisdom. The third and final key is choose courage over repetition. Whenever you feel trapped in a pattern, remember, the new is born only when you dare to cross the barrier of the old. Krishnamurti did not give us rigid techniques, because that would only be more conditioning. He simply said, observe, understand, and transformation will happen. It is simple, but profoundly revolutionary. And perhaps the greatest advice is this: do not seek to overcome tomorrow's limit. Overcome today's limit. At every instant that you cross a fear, an attachment, a limiting belief, you move closer to your true freedom. When you feel that your mind is a labyrinth, stop, breathe, observe. The path is not outside, it is within you. And every limit you see is only a door, waiting to be crossed. Thank you for being with me on this inner journey. And now I ask you, which inner limit do you feel you need to overcome?